I'm a little embarrassed.
Why?
Because Rich and I are dressed the same. I just saw that right now.
Twinsies. You guys didn't text each other last night.
What pants do you have on?
I'm wearing blue sweats.
Oh.
What are you wearing?
Camo pants today.
Oh.
So
you're a little different.
Got the same t-shirt,
But
though.
in my own defense, I wear a black t-shirt every day.
Oh, so he's not allowed to wear a black
No, he's allowed to, but if he puts on a black t-shirt, he's going to know I'm dressing like Johnjay today.
that is.
Copying you?
I mean, I'm just saying.
I've been black
just
t-shirting for years.
Right. Good one.
Everybody
Just
wears
saying.
black t-shirts.
All my press photos, black t-shirt. Anyway. Except over there where Rich is wearing a black t-shirt.
And over there where Rich is also wearing a black t-shirt.
Exactly. My point being made.
Good one.
Good one.
Wait, in that one, you're wearing a white t-shirt.
I know. That's why I said my joke. My joke was he's wearing a black one over there. That's my joke. So, man, election coverage all day yesterday. I sat on the sofa and was like obsessed watching stuff. I actually went and tried to take 2 naps. I was like so like consumed with like, it was like, and then I got enough of it. And then my son Dutch, who's 14, he was so into the election, which I was so happy that he's into. That's cool. You're 14, you're into it, right? So my wife and I and my son Dutch are watching election coverage. And I didn't even know this channel existed, but Dutch has this split screen of 4 different news stations covering the election. Right? And he's like watching it all and so into it. And then my wife's like, isn't this great? Doesn't this remind you of when you were a kid and you were watching the election with your parents? And I was like, no, I never did that.
Has she met
Never
you
in
yet?
my life. And then I'm like, in fact, the only time I can ever remember ever being involved in an election is I remember hearing in the news when Al Gore was doing the same thing to Bush that's going on right now. Right? I remember that happening when they were like the hanging chads. That's the first time I can ever be going, oh, who won? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I called my sister, and she was like, I'm not watching anything right now. I'm just trying to focus on work. And then my nephew was there that's 15 years old, and he knew absolutely everything. I was like, oh, my gosh, I didn't care at all when I was 15. I had no idea what was going on.
Dutch had basketball practice yesterday, right? So I went to pick him up at 4:30. He gets in the car at 4:31, and he goes, would you hear what's going on with Nevada? That's what he said when he got in the car.
Wow.
And I was like,
I
how
love
about how's
that.
basketball practice? Like, I don't want to know what's going on with Nevada. I'm so over it. I don't want to know. Just someone tell me who won. Let's move on.
Well, there's not an answer for that yet. I took a break and watched the movie Ted again last night, which is such a nice total polar opposite of watching election coverage, and I slept so good. Because I watched something funny in like no brain work at all because I figured nothing was going to change in those 2 hours.
I was like watching it all day yesterday, and I feel like the more I watched, the more confused I got. Like, it was like the more they're over-explaining things, the more I'm like, how does this happen? I just don't understand any of it. And so I was just so exhausted by the end of the day that I slept fantastically. But it was just like, it's just so like mentally exhausting trying to figure out what is really happening.
Well, as far as you watching Ted, Delaney, what did you watch on TV last night?
I watched Live It North with Bradley Cooper, and then I watched The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, and that was just like the funniest movie. So
Random.
I was just like, I'm not watching the news tonight. I'm just gonna watch some feel-good movies. I'm gonna drink a bottle of wine. Yes, a whole bottle of wine, and just relax.
And what about you, Suzette? What'd you watch?
I watched Mandalorian again. That's my happy place. Like, I go to Disney Plus whenever I'm stressing out and I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety. I just have to watch like a Avengers movie, Marvel movie, or Star Wars. That's my go-to.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Good escape.
I did finish that show about the stuff in Egypt. It's like the Secrets of Saqqara.
Oh, good. The documentary?
Yeah, so it's a documentary on Netflix about basically they're finding new tombs in Egypt. And these tombs are like in pristine condition. And it's so weird because like we talked a little bit about it yesterday about how it's like kind of like gets slow and it's
There's
a
lots
lot
of
of reading and subtitles. But I feel like I could not stop watching it. By the end, it was like I was emotionally invested in this family that they are finding out their story by this tomb. And it's like this tomb's 4,000 years old, and these people are discovering it, and they're the first people to like touch these things in 4,000 years, and they're the first people to like figure out the story. And then on the other hand, I'm like, you're digging up graves. Like, isn't that? That's bad, right? Like they're digging up bones.
Is there
like
closure?
Kids. Yes.
There is?
Yes.
Because I started, I'm 20 minutes in. I haven't got back to it. But what I thought was weird about it is like, they got like paintbrushes, right? And they're digging and they find something. They go, "Doo, doo, doo," and everybody comes over and they start taking a paintbrush and they're brushing off dirt. And all of a sudden there's like a cat sculpture. And I'm like, wow, cats looked exactly the same 4,000 years ago, right? And I'm like, was a cat just walking around? Like, what was that like? You know what I mean? And then to know that they got whatever clay they found and just that it still survived and it's still there. And then I thought, like, they find this tomb, right, 4,000 years ago. But let's just say 4,000 years from now, my neighborhood's covered in dirt. And they just find my neighbor's house. And they like discover my neighbor's house. There's really nothing exciting going on in my neighbor's house. And then 4,000 years from now, they do a whole TV show on my neighbors.
I
mean, that's
actually
just
totally thought about that. Like, will they need to do that 4,000 years from now? Because like now everything's documented online. Like,
That's true.
4,000 years from now, it's like they're going to have to sift through the documentation online. It'll be like a totally different type of excavation.
But if there
or
wasn't,
something
though,
like that.
they'd find like my neighbor's shoe. And they'd look, we found a shoe. And they'd brush it off. They'd look at his shoe and they'd be like, whoa, we're the first people in 4,000 years to touch this shoe.
Well, there's
and
one
they'd be
point
like,
where they find a chess game. And that's
Really?
the same thing. They literally find a box.
Huh?
And it's like this was their game of chess back in the day. And they find the little pieces that were made out of bones.
Whoa.
And they were like so excited about it. But it's like now it's like, so you found Monopoly. Cool.
it's I don't know where it ranks up on there. But
I
I got
don't
it
either.
yesterday. I went to my Amazon Prime, I went to HBO, I went to Hulu, I went to Netflix. I could not find anything to watch.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for The Undoing, the next episode to drop on HBO. I called my sister and I was like, I need to talk to you about The Undoing. Like it's this great show on HBO. It's a murder mystery with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. But it's like I can't find anything, and I don't want to watch election stuff. I just can't. I just couldn't, And and on Instagram, it's just election stuff. Like I know Suzette, you're talking about the memes are fire.
The memes are on
They're
fire.
so funny.
They're so good. There's one point where I was just watching the elections, and then I was like, I can't anymore. I need to like do something else. And I was watching memes for a good 2 hours, just laughing, sending them to friends, sending them to Mr. Baby, my husband, and then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'll watch like a Disney movie.
What's
to
your favorite
kinda
meme so
calm
far?
down. The guy counting.
Oh, I put that on my
I
Instagram.
know.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. You know what's funny is I put it on my Instagram because I thought it was funny, and then I thought, is Suzette ever going to put this on the meme game we play? Wait, we're here.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that video was everywhere.
That's so funny. Anyway, so we're here for you during this election. We are here for you, Peloton.